So yeah, this is an app that I've been working on, and I'm gonna just briefly go through what I have so far and what my goals are. So I've been tackling this piece by piece for the last 5 months. I had to take a break and put it on hold because we had some team changes. We had to do emergency recruiting, and so that just took a lot of my bandwidth. So if you're an owner and a team owner and or org owner and you wear all the hats, then you understand. So I needed to design and build something that works for me and my organization and try to automate decision flows, data workflows, the whole 9 yards as much as I can to alleviate, or I should say, give myself back some time. And so the things that requires the most attention is when players apply. You have to go through application reviews. So my process is players apply. I review the application. I reach out. I ask them to book a one-on-one with me. It's a quick, informal interview just so I can get a sense of their personality and if they are a good fit. And then I proceed to put them into the tryout bucket. And then the tryout process, it used to be short. It used to be like 1 or 2 days, and then I changed that to 2 to 4 weeks. And really, the 2 to 4 weeks depends on how often you show up. The more you show up, the least amount of time that we need to evaluate. And so the 2 to 4 weeks just has a buffer in there just in case something comes up and that player needs to give their devoted attention to that and need to come back later on and finish out their tryout. So it just gives a little bit of flexibility because I understand that life happens. So that's why it's 2 to 4 weeks. So that happens. Then after that, the onboarding process starts. And I've been really trying to work on my onboarding process, considering that it is just me. I used to help co-run the league. And so that I'm still healing from that. And so my trust with people having certain permissions and being able to, do certain things internally is kind of went downhill. So I just basically just do it all. But I'm hoping to get out of that mindset because I do need help, and I do understand that I need help. So, but I'm the one who's sending the players the server invite to our private server. Once they're in, I'm assigning roles. I'm giving a welcoming speech message saying, hey, be sure you join these rosters on Star GG or Gangster. So I'm the one doing all the onboarding process as well. And not only am I doing that, I'm also creating their digital media kit, so their banners and things like that, letting them know where to find decals and streaming overlays. So I'm doing the whole 9 yards. Not only that, but I also do my best to provide a complimentary gift just for being interested and proceeding to sign with us. So I try to send out a little freebie gift. In the past, I've sent out duffel bags. I've sent out wall flags. I've sent out stickers, pins, like PIN, not PEN, coasters. Recently, I just got in some 3D printed keychains, so I'm just waiting for the wrist strap so that I can attach them to them. And then I'll be sending those out to the recent players that we have received. Some got some wall flags, some leftover materials that I had. But after this, I will have to re-up again. So I ordered that myself, you know. The whole org is funded from my pockets. We don't really have any revenue coming in, so I'm hoping by me generating or building this custom website to my liking can bring in more eyes and more brands and things of that nature, local orgs that would like to work with us, because the web presence is important. So that's another goal for this website, strategic goal. So yeah, so like I do a lot, and I'm saying all this so that you guys can understand why I'm building what I'm building. If you could think about the process and the flow of the things that I'm saying and the back and forth communication. So I'm trying to build a platform that will help me, just in case if I never find a manager, then this app will take a toll off of me. So that's just a little background. I'm very transparent and I have no issue with keeping it real and just saying how it is. I've never had an issue with it. And I just figured what perspective to come from than my own as an owner. So I'm trying to push out more owner perspective content. So that's what this little mini series will be about. So today I'm just going to show where I've gotten to in the last 5 months, and then at the end I'll just talk a little bit about what I expect in the end. So stay tuned. If you would like, I'm not going to cut this or break this up. I'm going to probably upload this as is. So as soon as you come to the website, you have this nice, beautiful header hero section. This will change because I kind of have a design in mind to make it more attractive to the eye. So yeah, this hero section will change, but obviously at the top we do have our call to actions, which is applied to U3, and then view the teams. These call to actions may change over time, but I know right now the most important thing, the most important lead that we want is players. So apply is definitely there. The secondary call to action may change over time. It may switch from view teams to maybe view our sponsors, or things like that, that we want to also bring attention to. As you scroll down, we have our metrics. I may need to give this a heading now that I think about it, because as you scroll, you're like, what is this? So I might put a little heading up there and say maybe our enrollment metrics, or just, our organization metrics, one of the two. And you guys can also give me feedback in the comments if you would like. If not, it's okay. So I've basically used the data. Currently, this video is going to be a little mix of like what's current, like our current process, and then a mix of like where we're trying to head to, so that you guys understand how I came to certain decisions. Because for some people that's important, so I will try to make sure that I give it and not just be so direct. So if you're wondering how did I get these percentages or these metrics, as I mentioned, people apply. So right now we currently use a Google form, and I basically and with Google Forms, you can link a spreadsheet. So I've used that spreadsheet and I built out some calculations and some tables, as well as like what months do I get the most applicants, because that lets me know the time and the season when I should be putting out ads and things like that. So it's a data informed. It allows me to do data informed decision making. So I have the months, seeing my most popular month, time zones, ages. We use age range because I haven't switched to players providing me their date of birth, but as we get more sponsors and things like that, that may change because they may require certain information. But as of right now, I just use an age range. Based on pronouns, I determine if it's male or female. Right now, we are 98% male dominant. Our applicants are. And so that's where this data has come from. I've basically built a dashboard in a second tab using the inquiries that I have received since I've started recruiting. And so, as you can see here, 67% of our applicants were referred by a friend or someone. So this just lets me know that word of mouth is very important. 58% has prior experience. This also lets me know how important it is to have coaches. And then 48% of our applicants are in the Eastern time zone. So that also gives us a perspective as well on how scheduling and things like that will go. And then 67% of the players were consistent in ranks for GC2 and higher. And then I've had a total of 64 applicants in the past 3 years. So this just gives a snapshot of that. And then as you scroll down, you have our schedule and some quick little 1-2s about benefits with us, and then our current affiliates and partners at the bottom. So as you come across, you go to teams. So in my nav, I have teams, players, events. Merch is not set up yet. Still deciding on how I want to display and go about that one. This view may change. I have not touched this view as much yet, so it's still looking a little boxy. But we currently have 4 rosters. Our academy team is the team where you have more flexibility to focus on self-improvement, and the goal is to use this roster as a stepping stone to one of the 3 rosters. So you get more one-on-one with the coach, training plans, things of that nature. So whole goal is set you some goals so that you can get on to the 3 main rosters. So that's how that is. That's how we have that set up. And then you have the player's view. There's no photos here. As I mentioned, this is in development. This is not live, hence to the URL. But these are the names of our current players. So, so this is how that view will look. Eventually, in the account view, players will be able to upload their images and attach bios and edit their bios and things like that. So as you click a player, you come to the player profile. And my vision for this was to treat it like a LinkedIn profile where players can add their history, like past teams that they've been on, past achievements that they've had. Another important section or value to this profile page is it shows their latest stats from tournaments we've competed in. So, and then if you just want to see their whole historical record, you can just go to their trackers. But there is a stats section that shows down here if stats exist, and you're able to click off to view all the stats from all the tournaments that they've participated in. So I thought this was a nice value add. Something that I will need to add to this page layout is a button to go back to the players, or a button to just toggle between next, like show the next player name down here maybe, or up here previous next, so that you can just go to the next player. So I did have me in here as a dummy account, and I put some fake stats under my name so it can show, so I can see visibly how it looks. But I marked me as an inactive user. And then you have events, which is linked to the events list on the home page. And as you can see, this hero section looks totally different from the others. Eventually, this hero section and this hero section will look like the events, just different background images. But the events page is my favorite so far. And I've added badges to show you the events that's upcoming and the amount of time. And then but the thing is, though, most of these teams compete in the same thing. So as you can see, it says Summer Open Tournament 1, and you can see the team here and team here, but they're the same event, which is why you can toggle the events based on the team. So if you just only want to see the Pirates, these are the events that the Pirates will be participating in. If you want to see the cash tournaments that the Academy team is participating in, then you will go to Academy, because they do still participate in competitive events. It's just not leagues and scrims like the main roster. They're mainly just doing cash tournaments, weekly cash tournaments, so that they can still gain that experience. You also have a nice feature to just add this event to your calendar if you would like. But yeah, that's the events page. Another feature that I have done so far is I have an account page, a dashboard page, and you will only see these two things if you are logged in. If you are not logged in, you will not have access to this. And these pages are only access to people that I allow. But I'm going to skip the account page because it does have some personal data on it. So I'm just going to go to the dashboard page. So here's our dashboard. This will change too. I'm planning to adjust this a little bit more. This was just an idea in the beginning, but it is going to switch around. So this is the back end. This is where I have fun as a manager. This is my management database, dashboard, hub, whatever you want to call it. This is where I will soon be spending the most of my time. Right now, a lot of our data is spread across different spreadsheets, forms, different platforms between Discord, Google. So I'm trying to create a centralized location for all data. So now we will have a database that will house the data that we need, which is what this whole web app is powered off of. So all of this information lives in a database, including the events. Everything that you see lives in a database. So players, if it makes sense, I can come here and edit players, add players, remove players, delete players, change their roles, their statuses, all of that from active to inactive to trial, all of that. I have games here because at one point I did plan to start a new lane, I should say, a new branch of U3, and I was debating between Valorant and COD. But I still haven't decided yet if I want to start a Valorant team or division, but we will see in the future. So for right now, Rocket League is the only game that we compete in. But yeah, so here's where you can manage all the players. It also tell you if the player's account is linked to a user account. So far, none of the players have a user account link because I have not shared this demo with anyone. It's not ready to be tested. But when it is ready, all these players will have a user account linked. This helps me with time zones. So yeah, so all of that is related to players, editing players. Same with the team, same concept. I also can assign a coach to each team. This will be important once I build out the coach portion of this management system. And so our current coach, he will kind of be the founder of what exists for the coaches in the future, just based off of his expertise and knowledge. What is important, when you log in, what do you want to see? What do you want to have access to? So based on what Coach Dragon says will be what shows here for the coach. The player's view will be a little different as well. This is my view though. So I can edit and stuff with teams. Same with the rosters. This is where I can assign players to a team. I also can put in the join dates and things like that. Here's where I do all the events management. I can come in here. I can also set rounds, event rounds. And this is important because this relates back to the stats. Remember how I said the stats are linked to the tournaments that the players participate in. And I didn't want it to be where you enter a stat because tournaments can have an upper, lower, and multiple rounds. And so I wanted to be able to enter stats for players more than one time, considering there is a unique ID to the stats. And so I want to make sure the stats got assigned to the appropriate rounds, and not only the appropriate rounds, but the appropriate tournaments. So just a lot of relationship linking in the database. So between the tables, the data sets. So so we're able to attach rounds to the events. I did start playing with one event, and but one thing about this, I will have to come in here early and put the bracket type and set up the rounds, because this is important for a feature later that I will talk about towards the end. But this is where we do our event management. Attendance it's automated. I can do manual attendance, but the attendance is now automated. I'm so happy about that because I don't have to submit forms or anything like that. So basically, based off of tournaments, if the player name exists, then it will mark that player as present. Same with it will mark the player as present. Now, and we also track scrim stats as well, so it will mark players as present for scrims also. The only thing that I will have to possibly manually track if I want to is practices, but that'll be a metric that I will talk to the coach about to see, is it important, or do we just want attendance based off of events and scrims. So and I can always come in and just manually add attendance if I need. And the source let you know how the attendance was recorded. And then we have the statuses here, and then all the events. So I'm super excited about this feature. Next, we have our stats. I was playing around with this, as I mentioned earlier, and playing with a workflow between players being able to upload replays in this system, and I'm able to go in and review it, mark it to parse, and then once it parses, it updates the stats for the players. So, as I mentioned, here's where those rounds come into play. So this stat is linked to a round for this tournament. This was a test that I was doing on May 2nd. So I'm excited about this feature as well. No more of me having to manually do calculations and things of that nature. I'm putting all of that in this system, and all players have to do is upload a file, and it is done. No more of me trying to remember, did I do this, did I do that, trying to keep up. All you have to do is upload a replay file, and everything is done. So, also super excited about this. This is where I was saying earlier, where I get my time back, because I'm the stats analyst. I'm doing attendance, I'm doing the marketing, I'm doing the partnerships, I'm doing everything, the legal, just the whole 9 yards. So this gives me a lot of time back so that I can focus on the things that are critical to our organization. The notes is really for the coach. I have not put any love into this management system yet. This is something that the coach will give more input on, but for right now, this is just what I had in the moment. So these will attach to the players' profiles that they will have, and so they are able to go in and see any notes that they need to address or review over time. All right. Recruits. So I will be building my whole recruiting pipeline into this system. No more of me keeping up with Word docs and this and that and third. It will all live here. I have not started that process. I've been solely focused on the players, the teams, the rosters, the events, attendance, and replays. And the replays is a little bit tricky, but it will get done. I will have to use a middleman to do some of the work, just because of the deployment platform I'm using. So I have to find a creative way to get these replays to properly parse. But the recruitment pipeline will come here, and it will automate a lot of things that I was having to do manually, which is the whole purpose. And so we will no longer be using Google Forms. The whole application process lives here in this web system. So replays is what I've been working on for the past couple of days. So I did test uploading the replay. I did test, as I was mentioning, these are the actions that I can perform. Players only see, I believe, edit, coach review only, and delete. I do the rest. Well, I see all, but those 3 are for them. They're able to mark replays for coach review only, and then the other replays, if it's not coach review, then it's considered that this replay is a scrim or a tourney event. So as I was mentioning, it's a whole process to this, and this is why the rounds and the bracket style and all of that stuff is important, so that these replays get linked to the appropriate tournament and rounds. So as you can see, this bottom one says imported because this is the one that I tested with. These other two just say ready to parse. And that's just based off you clicking the ready after you edited and reviewed what's here. You can also put some notes down here if you want. And then this is why I was saying it's very important that I go in and put the rounds and stuff early, so that by the time the players get to this step, all they have to do is just select the event and select what round this replay is for. Let's see. I may have to, though. Now that I'm thinking about it, I may have to add games here, because round one could be a best of 5, a best of 3, a best of 7. So I will need to add that here, because because right now the way that it's set up, if they upload this replay file and they select round one and they upload 2 more and they select round one, the last one that they upload will override the last 2 because of that unique identifier. And so right now it's not set up to view that there can be multiple games within a round, if that makes sense. So I'm missing my best of. So I need to add that, and then after that, this will be chef's kiss. So we can also archive, we can parse. When you parse, it just basically imports. Right now it's not set up to the middleman yet. So you just hit OK, and then it just switches the status to imported. So I'm excited about what I have done so far. I do know this applicant, that section is going to be also very, very important, because it is going to help me with the onboarding process for sure. And players can now come to this web app and see where they are in the pipeline versus me using Discord and sending statuses using webhooks and app scripts and Google, just to update statuses and push it to Discord and post it. Players can now just come to this centralized web app and see everything that they need. So yeah, the only thing that's missing here, I will have contracts built into here, and players can sign from this web app, and those files will be able to be stored somewhere safe. So the security will be beefed up a notch. I already have authentication set up, and you can use between Google or Discord. So you can use Discord or Google. I will have a terms and privacy policy, because there is some PPI data that will be stored. So this is my world. This is what I do on a day-to-day basis. I've just recently switched from web developer to applications developer. Currently being reviewed for director of web strategy and development for a university. So I'm switching from a small unit to the whole university's ecosystem. So this is what I do. I'm basically building a web strategy for myself and doing the web development. It's nothing new. And there will be some compliance pieces in here for those who aren't over the age of 18. So all of that will live in this new system, and I'm just excited. I just hate that it's just me building it out and working on it. Sometimes I do wish I had someone to help me with this project, but it's all right. I also push versions to Git. So I do use Git versioning just in case something does happen. I have the last push source code, so my source code is never lost. So I do those, push those commits. Oops, sorry. And yeah, I guess I can show you guys the app, the apply. This will change, as I mentioned. All of them will have this form of a hero. Just keep consistency across all the pages. But this will be our new form. It's the same information as our Google form, but now everything just lives here. You have a step-by-step process. So yeah, I'm excited and just so excited. And this data will push to the database as well to control that applicant pipeline. So I am happy where I've gotten in the last 5 months. I do be hard on myself because I be feeling like, I should be further than what I'm at, but I've just been taking piece by piece at a time. And my main goal right now, let's talk about goals. So my main goal right now is to get this front facing side published. So I want to get this pushed to Vercel. So that we can and get a domain registered to it, so that we can get this front page, this public facing site live. And while that's live, I will continue to work on the back end. So my goal has been to get these elements live. There will be maybe about here to just for me to talk a little bit more about myself, how I got started, goals, the mission, things of that nature. So that will exist as well, but I'm not trying to rush it. When it happens, and yeah, just know the owner did it. So yeah, that's what the owner has been working on the last 5 months while still managing and juggling the teams. So I'm proud of myself. And I'm just, as many times I've wanted to quit and just throw in the towel, I do have to be grateful and humbled too for how far I've come and the things that I have been through and the lessons that I have been taught. So I'm happy. I am happy. I do have to give myself a clap on the back at time, not only myself, but those who are in my circle, such as my coach and my players. I'm so grateful for them as well, because U3 wouldn't be what it is without them, I should say. So we're climbing slowly but surely. We are climbing. Yeah, so we'll see in the next series, or I'm not call it series, episode, how far I've come and if I have deployed the app. But we'll see. Maybe the front end will be done and I can show you guys all the updates I made. And then after that, the next episode will be about me publishing it and telling you guys the website URL you can go to experience the website yourself. And then after that, we'll be finishing the back end and getting those policies and stuff in place so that people can't just access our data, locking it down. So that's what I think are in the upcoming. But hopefully this doesn't get pushed off on the side. I'm doing my best to work on this a little bit at a time over the weekends. And then I may be having a job change in July, so that's gonna come with some sleepless nights. So yeah, so we'll see. Just stay tuned. I thank you if you have made it this far. I really appreciate you. And if you have any comments or suggestions or want to know why I made this decision over that decision, just put it all in the comment section. And yeah, see you next time.